There it is.
Well, good afternoon. We are live. It is Friday, November 6th. Is that correct, Michael?
That is correct.
I think it's been a long week for everybody, huh?
It's been a very, very long year.
That is true. So I would say that it's been more than a long year, and especially with this week going on. And I think we're coming to the end of 2020 and getting rid of all the junk. And welcome to episode 25 of our GBO Bodcast. We have GBO Genesis promoter, and we do have GBO athlete Michael Gaytan. So for those of you who don't know a little bit about Michael, I'm going to give you a little bit of introduction about him. Michael originally started, when did you start associating with the GBO? What was your first initial encounter?
My very first bodybuilding show as well. It was with Vermont's Battle of Central Texas here in Austin, Texas, up in the Del Diamond Round Rock area. And not only was my first bodybuilding show, my first bodybuilding experience all around. And like I like to tell people, GBO was the organization that set the standard for me, for bodybuilding as a whole. I remember meeting you, Matt. I remember meeting Michelle. I remember meeting so many people that day that were heavily involved with GBO, and just the warm welcome that I received, the help that I received, the athlete atmosphere, everything that was involved with that show was just so great that I was like, okay, I think I can continue doing this bodybuilding thing. It was just something that let's see what I can do. Let's see what I'm capable of in the natty world. And they set the bar. And after that, I went to see other organizations, and unfortunately, they didn't meet up to GBO expectations.
Sounds like you were going on dates with different organizations to kind of check it out.
Yeah, I mean, I did. I mean, I was new to the bodybuilding world. I wanted to see what else was out there, you know? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I kind of cheated on GBO.
Well, that's okay, because now you're faithful. It's not cheating if you weren't in the relationship in the first place. So you have to kind of check around and see what works best, because not every organization is for everyone. So I like that dating analogy. I think we're going to use that more often in the future.
We should. Especially when GBO sets the standard, you know?
You're right. I did not know that was your first show with Vermont Show, because I was judging that show. And I remembered seeing you, and I was like, who's this Michael guy? He's got a lot of tattoos. And he actually is a pretty good poser, and he's always smiling. So that was fun to watch. And that was back in, what was that, in 2018?
2018. That was Vermont's first show, GBO show. Yep.
Wow. Now, where have you traveled in the world with GBO? Because I know you have some special places that you've traveled outside of the country. What was your most memorable experience?
Well, with GBO, I traveled outside to Ecuador. That's the only one that I've had so far. One of the main reasons I wanted to travel out there is one thing I noticed as a competitor. I kept going against Texans and Americans, and y'all are all much taller than me and bigger than me. So I figured I'd go, compete around somebody my height, my weight class, and it was a lot of fun. That was hands down one of my most memorable experiences, going down to Ecuador. It was me, Bob Johnson, the president, decided to join in, and then Todd decided to join in, and then the late Chris Porter, Jesus, decided to join in as well. And we all got to go down there and meet Leonardo Molina, and we just had an experience. It was such a blast, not only just a show, but going out and enjoying the culture in Ecuador, Guayaquil, Ecuador. And man, it was such a great experience. It was something I was not expecting. I was expecting to go down there to Ecuador, compete, win, and come back, happy. And I completely lost, but I came out with so much more, a better win, if you want to call it that. I got to meet the president, got to meet the director. I got to meet Chris Porter. I got to meet everybody else. I got to meet David Alfonso from Spain. I got to meet so many people, make so many new friends down there. It's still one of my favorite experiences going outside. It's a beautiful thing about GBO is that we can travel anywhere to compete anywhere, as long as you have as long as you're part of the membership, as long as you're part of the GBO family, you know.
Yes, sir. So, you're getting into promoting now. You've had a career as an athlete. You test judged at the Las Vegas show at the Royal Flush last February.
Yes.
Where do you go after you test judge? I know we've seen you at every show that we've had this year, which is great. You've been instrumental. You've been a drug tester. You've been someone who was a utility player, did awards at the Storm Classic as far as helping to organize. What are you currently really most excited about right now?
Hands down, GBO Genesis. Let me pull out the what I got right now. I apologize, I didn't prepare it much better, but GBO Genesis, this is the show that I am personally promoting, and I am super excited. I'm putting a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of focus on this task. And guys, if you only knew how excited I am for this show to happen, it's going to be kicking off the Natty World in 2021. And so many people that I'm getting involved with the show is what's making this show so much. That's going to be so great. So not only do I have the GBO family backing me up with all of this, but I'm pulling some more people from the outside that I've never considered, and don't want to make any full-on announcements until everybody has been confirmed. You know, don't want to give up anybody's hopes, but it is super exciting. This is going to be in Austin, Texas, March 20th, 2021. It is the 1-year anniversary of the quarantine in the United States. If you remember, Matt, it was a week prior to that, we had the Divas in San Antonio, and the Divas was a packed house. You were there. Every seat was taken, and people were lining up against the walls. It was such a huge show. It was such an experience to see nothing but women athletes up there representing the bodybuilding world, natural at that. So big. And it was a little bit sad when a week later, everything's like, nope, we ain't doing this anymore. Well, a year later, we're starting over again, and it's going to be just as big. And I have Todd Rogers helping me out, so I mean, it can't fail, right? I have you, Matt, helping me out, so it can't fail.
You know what, though? I mean, that's kind of what we do. I mean, you're under the banner of GBO Texas, but you're really just in the family. And, you're going to be the first Texas show out of the gate. I know that the Louisiana State Championships are going to be the week before.
Yes.
And I want to make something clear. Can you show your shirt?
Let's stand up for this.
You'll see GBO Genesis on that shirt. By the way, I love your camera. It goes in blurry and then kind of hones in on you and makes it like super crystal clear. I think you're the first person ever to be a guest that has that happen. But you have a very unique logo in the fact that it encapsulates the GBO Naturals logo. And for those of you who see the normal GBO logo, that means if you see that on a poster, a lot of those questions that we get are, okay, is this tested or non-tested? We have two separate entities essentially working under the same family. And if you see the normal GBO with the world logo on it, that means it's a non-tested show. If you see the little wreath around, that means it's a GBO Naturals. That means it's a tested show. And what made you decide to want to do a tested show in Austin?
I am huge on promoting the natural bodybuilding world. I was actually with a potential partner coming up, and he's been big in the industry in the fitness world for about 30 years. And he's natural and has an incredible physique. And that's what drives me. I want to look like that when I'm in my 50s, 60s, and 70s. I want to have a nice physique. Don't have to be crazy fit, but natural. And it's not for everybody. You know, there's some people that need those hormones for better health and that kind of stuff. I'm trying to hold off of it as long as I can, but natural. I remember being a young kid and seeing all the big bodybuilders and being sad because I knew I wasn't going to be able to achieve that type of physique. And little did I know that natural bodybuilding was a thing, or could be a thing. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I don't think it was as prevalent, but that's why I want to promote the natural bodybuilding with this. And not only that, I want to promote it among the teenagers, because I think of me when I want to help them out. When I was young, thinking, oh, this is not for me. I'll never be able to do something like this. I want to be able to prove to them, yes, you can do it. And not only can you do it, you can do it naturally. If you know one of my athletes, she's right there on the far left. I'm going to give her a little shout out. That's Tegan Ashworth. She is the youngest GBO pro at 19 years old. She won her GBO pro card at Legacy about a month ago and did her pro debut at your show, Matt, at Storm Class. She did an incredible job. Really gave a run for the ladies' money out there, but that's what I want to promote. That right there. That is some great drive, determination. It's some good stuff. That's why I want to continue to do natural bodybuilding and promote the natural world.
I like that. Well, you have specifically team that I noticed on your website. So for those of you who know promoters, we kind of live in the same world and we stalk each other's ideas. So I looked at Michael Gaytan's website, which I thought was incredible. You did an amazing job just getting a chance to really just make it easy. And I've got a little surprise for you myself. So I'll just maybe even pull it up. But one of the things that this is going to be a first, by the way. Are you okay with doing firsts? You
Always.
like that? Okay,
Always.
cool. So what I like about Michael Gaytan's website, when I was looking at it, I think I was looking at it, man, when was it? It was early in the morning one day. And so I decided, you know what? This is something that I believe is worth sharing because if you see it, it's very clean. It's easy to get to. Michael is one of these up and coming promoters that has already an apparel line, event info, athlete info, and register. If you look at this, it's got male, female, and teen. Now, why did you break it into those three? Because I think you're going to probably have the largest teen, I guess, capability or the largest teen showing. What is so near and dear to your heart about teens when they start early?
Goes back to me when I was a teenager. That's really what it boils down to. Being a teenager and wondering what my capabilities are. I was already setting myself up for a failure when I told myself I can't do it. And I don't want them to think that now. I want to promote that, yes, you can. You can come up on stage. You can start becoming a bodybuilder at a young age. And for those that think, oh, I'll never go pro, or it's going to take me years and years to go pro, we have Tegan, who at 19 was able to go pro. I want them to know that it is very possible. It's very capable of doing 100%. And that's why I wanted to split it off into not only men, women, teens. Obviously, the teenagers, if you're under 18 years old, you have to get your parent signature to sign. So that's where the signature rolls in. But I think I always think back to me and things that I would have appreciated when I was that age. So I want to be there for those that are looking for that extra help, that need that extra little motivation. So again, natural bodybuilding, teenagers, and honestly, just for everybody. God, you don't know how long. I'm 30. Geez, I forgot how old I was. I'm 36 years old. And since I was 16 years old, I've always, I don't want to say fantasized. I want to say I've dreamt about doing a bodybuilding show. And once again, I set myself up for failure because I kept telling myself, no. I never had anybody out there that said, hey, you know what? You are capable of doing this. If you just put your mind to it, put the energy into it, get yourself a coach, because most people definitely benefit from the coach and that motivation. It took me from 16 years old. I didn't do my first show until I was 34, 33, 34 years old. So it was 13 years of self-doubt. And God, if I can only imagine where I would be if I started at that age. Granted, GBO wasn't around, but still, that's what I want to do for some of the people out there. That's why I want to become a promoter. I want to not only promote shows, but I want to promote athletes. And I'm going to touch on that. I'm going to go back to my first show with GBO. The GBO slogan is athletes first. And before I even learned of that slogan, that's the vibe, that's the love I received at the Battle of Central Texas, my very first show. You could really tell that everybody was there. Matt, you were one of the big ones. Everybody was there to answer your question, help you along, guide you in the right direction, guide you into success. And again, GBO set the standard. All of you guys set the standard for me. So when I tried out other organizations just to see what everything else is like, the standards were nowhere close to GBO. In some organizations, I felt like I was just a number. I was just being heard around. Other places, I was just invisible. If I didn't show up for my class, they would just go ahead and start without me and not give it a second thought. As long as I paid my money, that's all they really cared. They wouldn't even care if I showed up. Whereas GBO, we take care of our athletes, and I've seen that consistently in every single show that I've been on. That's why you were saying earlier, Matt, that I helped out with the urines, judging, basically became a runner for you at your show and just did whatever you needed, because that's what I want to provide for everybody. Just support, somebody being there, somebody to help you along, answer questions, make you feel welcome, make you feel a part of the family. Every single show, even in Ecuador, when I went down there, I mean, you can't feel more involved like a family than sitting down with the president, with the director of naturals. It was a great experience. That's the consistency of GBO, that family orientation, that athlete first. And definitely with Genesis, that is my number one goal, is to 100% take care of the athletes and make them have a great experience, smooth running show, and put some smiles on some people's faces.
Well, I'm going to mention something on here really quickly because let's see if we can pull this up for you. I love doing this. This is so fun. So if you can see this, can you see my screen right now?
I can see your screen.
We have 134 days until your event. Like when you put it in days, it's like, oh my gosh, I got to get ready. I heard you might be adding, am I getting ahead of myself? You might be adding a division. Do you want to go ahead and announce that?
I'm going to go ahead and announce that. I did do a little teaser earlier today. I wanted to have not just a standard division, so standard bodybuilding, classic, figure, shape, all that good stuff. I always want to have a special, dear to heart division. And I sat down with some of my friends yesterday. We went over some creating the criteria, creating the standards for this. And with me, Mitch, and Stephanie and Kelsey, we sat down and created the transformation division, a full-on judgeable, with criteria, with everything. We're going to be doing the transformation. So here's a rough draft still. I need to put this down on paper, but just for the gist of things, there will be a transformation division. One for men, one for women. All ages compete against all ages, okay? It's going to be a 16-week transformation, so 4 months. The 16-week mark, I like how you said that. I have the number on there, and I specifically, here's the thing about naturals, we just need a little bit of extra time to get tight, maintain that lean muscle mass, and still try to get crazy conditioning that we can as naturals. 20 weeks is my new favorite prep time as a natural. Just need that extra time. Because of that, I'm keeping track of every single, how many weeks out we are. And starting Monday will be 19 weeks for the transformation for the full 16 weeks. It's going to be on the 28th of November, Saturday. That is when I'm going to need the before pictures, weight checks, and your actual registration for the show, which will be up soon. We're still working on this, but I have 4 weeks to get the word out for those that are interested in doing an actual transformation. This isn't going to be like a transformation for goals or an online or anything like that, where you just look at the before picture and the after picture. We're going to be coming down, or we're going to create this criteria where everything's going to be involved. We're going to need your weight before pictures with the newspaper showing the exact date. It's going to have to be within 7 to 10 days, haven't decided yet, from the registration date, from the 16th. And not only are we going to be looking at the before and after pictures as criteria for the judging criteria, we are going to require you to come out on stage, whether it's for ladies, bikini or sports bra and shorts, men, board shorts, or just not posing trunks, but a little bit smaller shorts. We definitely want to look at the legs. We want to look at the stomach area, the abdomen area. We want to see the shoulders. We want to see your presentation on stage. And the poses right now, it looks like we're just going to do front and back poses. Whether the back pose is going to be back or back double bicep or front double bicep. And I see that Mr. Todd Rogers has joined in. He's going to be somebody that I'm going to have to be talking to here soon about this criteria so we can get this taken care of. He actually doesn't know what I'm talking about because he just came on. And he's like,
he's still checking the audio. He's in an airport right now. He's like, look, I need to land. I need to get out of the plane, and then I'm going to get on. So
yeah.
You'll see.
What's going on, man?
How you doing, Mr. Todd Rogers?
What's up, world?
You sound a little choppy, but we'll see what we can do to keep you patched in here. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, flight's great. Flight's great.
Cool. Well, I'm hoping that the signal gets a little stronger or clears up so we can hear you. You're just chopped right now. But Michael just announced his transformation division. Now, by the way, Michael, I did see on your flyer, if I'm not mistaken, did I just see right here where it says Pro Women's Beachbody?
Pro Women's Beachbody.
Oh, this might be a formal announcement that some of the pros don't know yet. So do you want to talk a little bit about that and why you got Pro Women's Beachbody in your show?
So Pro Women's Beachbody, one of the main reasons I picked the Pro Women's Beachbody, one is I have a lot of friends in other organizations that have been eyeballing GBO for some time now. Some of them have been in the bikini, pro bikini for their federations and have thought about wanting to come over and check out a GBO show. They're mostly in Austin or around the area. And so they've always like, well, I mean, there really isn't a pro bikini show in the Austin area. So don't know about that, but they've been asking me, and that was the category that I got asked about the most. So that's one reason I decided on the pro bikini. Second is I have to commend the ladies for the past couple of shows that we've seen the pro bikinis. When we do the pose down, wow. Super exciting. Every single time I've seen the Beachbody ladies, it's been pretty spectacular. It makes me, you just have a great time watching them. You're gonna have a great time watching all the pro classes doing their pose down. But bikini, that I have to applaud them. They've been very spectacular. I've been very impressed, and I guess those are the two main reasons why I decided on the Pro Beachbody. Definitely wanted to give an audience or a platform for those that have thought about wanting to join the GBO organization. But the pros, I'm going to be awarding first place $1,200, second place $800, and third place $500. So the top prize outside of the Atlas, GBO Atlas. So for the ladies, registration commitment letters aren't able to be submitted just yet. I know Laura, Elsa Porter are still working on that, and they're hoping to open that up for commitment letters for 2021 in December. Don't quote me on that, but I have the information up there on the website. Matt, when you put it up, there is a little icon right there, Pro Bodybuilders. Click here. That will get you the information for Elsa Porter, so you can reach out to her. And I also put Todd Rogers' information because, once again, I do have other athletes from other organizations that are very interested in joining GBO. They keep saying the athletes first. They see everybody walking out of the shows with smiles, see that we're all one big giant family, and they want to get involved. Todd Rogers is the man that you want to talk to for transferring your GBO or transferring your pro card from other federations over to GBO. So definitely, thank you, Matt. I've spent a lot of time working on this website, making sure that all the information that people have, all the questions that they have, all the information is up there so they can navigate. And if there's still any questions, obviously we're always just a phone number, Instagram DM or email away to answer any questions.
So if we can back up for a second, I know Todd's still wanting to join and we're going to try and get him on a stronger signal. When you were competing, what was probably your greatest challenge, either going into prep, in prep, or at a show?
Greatest challenge for me for both seasons, my 2018 season where I did 3 shows and my 2019 season where I did 5 shows, for me personally was doing the prep alone. I had my coach. My first time it was a coach named Mitch, and the second time it was Jacqueline Bennett, which is also a GBO pro and a GBO judge. Both great coaches, nothing against them, but for the most part, I was doing the meal prepping by myself. I was doing the workouts by myself. I was doing the cardio, posing. Mostly everything was by myself. And that is one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do, but I'm happy that I did, because it just shows you that, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? But for me personally, that was the hardest part. It wasn't going up on stage, going up against bigger guys than me. It wasn't the posing. It wasn't the cardio or anything like that. The eating, shoot, honestly, I could eat the same thing forever. But doing it alone, once again, a lot of things that I do, especially driving with GBO, is I want to be there as a support structure for those athletes that are wanting to compete, whether it's needing help with posing or workouts, or how do I get through this, that, or as simple as how do I register. Definitely want to be there for those folks.
So let's flip side this, because we're going to get to some fun questions about Michael Gaytan.
Uh-oh.
What was your greatest accomplishment in the last 2 years while you were competing?
Joining GBO. 100%. Greatest accomplishment is joining the GBO family. Not only has it allowed me to go to different country to compete, something I never thought it'd be possible, become a judge, become part of the family. I became a promoter, something that I was very interested in doing from maybe my second or third show that I stepped foot on. But I was kind of slowly, I've been keeping notes at every show ever since my first season, just kind of, how can I do this better? What can I do different? That kind of thing. So joining the GBO family has transformed my world into something I never thought possible. Hands down.
Good. I like that. And, a lot of people don't realize that just being in the organization might be the biggest accomplishment. So let's talk about some of the athletes in GBO that you looked up to when you first started your journey in 2018. Who were some of the people that really made an impact on you just being on stage with or watching from the audience on stage?
So number one is going to be Jacqueline Bennett. Jacqueline is the athlete right here. I actually met her in a different organization, and I was super impressed with her physique, super impressed with her stage presence. Very nice person. Congratulated her at the end of her pro division at that particular show, and we just became friends ever since then. And she ended up coaching me in my second season. But she has been a huge inspiration because of what she's accomplished as a natural pro. Another one, it's funny how these people are all on this page right here, right? Funny how that works. James Mickels. I never actually met James and formally met him until, I want to say, Legacy. It was the first time where we actually shook hands, were able to converse, but I've been following him for quite some time. I don't remember the first time I saw him. I don't think I ever got to see him compete until Legacy, but just following him and following his message was very inspirational. He is the one that he is very, how do I say this? Competitive hungry. When he goes up on stage, he's there to compete. All he's thinking about is competing and winning. Whereas me personally, every time I'm on stage, I'm like, oh, can't wait to do this. I'm going to kill this posing. I'm going to kill this routine. And then I get to gorge myself with cookies and cake that I snuck into the country at Ecuador, because that's exactly what I did. I took a ton of some goodies from the United States, but it was, for him, it was a mindset. It was a mindset of a bodybuilder. And that's what I realized what he was doing. And I was like, well, shoot, he's doing pretty great as an athlete. And obviously I want to do great as an athlete. So I want to follow that same message. So he's another athlete that I look up to. And then we'll talk about Tegan. Why not? We'll talk about Tegan. I saw Tegan, I want to say in 2019, and I saw her competing as a teenager. I think at that time she was 18 years old, maybe even 17. I don't know her exact birthday yet, but she competed on stage, and don't know who this person was. She had her own category. She was the only teenager. She went out there, had some crazy posing for her time. Conditioning, everybody could work on conditioning, but I looked at her and I was like, that's going to be somebody fierce in the future. She gets the right coach, gets the right training, right everything, and she dials everything in. She's going to be a pro soon. So when I saw her again in Legacy, I was like, this is where it's going to happen. This is where it's going to happen. So I admire her drive. The fact that she didn't let anything stop her. I want to say Legacy was her third show and ended up winning her pro card on her third show. She just didn't give up. I got a chance to talk to her parents at Storm and just hearing their story about Tegan, how she just came out of nowhere one time and just said, hey, you know what? I'm going to be a bodybuilder. And they're like, are you really? Okay, well, we'll support you. Definitely, you're a daughter. And she's like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And she just took off, and she'll always hold that title until somebody dethrones her. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. She holds the title she will always hold the title as being the first youngest teen pro bodybuilder in GBO. I mean, so yeah, three people that I'm inspired by. Put them right here on my flyer.
You've got Tegan. She made her pro debut at the Storm Classic.
Yes.
James won. That was his first pro win, October 24th. And you could tell it hit him. I mean, this is a guy who worked and worked and worked for his pro card, was constantly in the top 5 every single time he talked, and I know he's watching. Hi, James. By the way, you made a lot of people really happy. Nico Cusack. I'm not going to go down the entire list, but Melody Farkas was excited that you added Pro Beachbody. There's some people who are chiming in and very excited for your show. And then you've got Jacqueline, and Jacqueline, has competed in Pro Beachbody and Pro Shape. She's one of our judges, so that's a pretty good trio. Let's talk just a second about your show, because I know as we kick off 2021, a lot of people don't realize that this will be the last year for pro qualifiers. So you will have a local pro qualifier, which means overall wins their pro card as long as they have enough to compete in the overall, and then also global qualification. What are your travel plans this year after your show? What shows do you plan on going to watch or help out in?
Number one, the COVID restrictions are going to dictate all the travel plans. My personal plans for GBO is to go to every single stateside show that I possibly can attend financially. But let's see, definitely want to be at the first show for GBO of the year. So I'm going to be in Louisiana, going to be at my show. Divas is going to be announced at some point this month. Maybe, I don't know. Todd Rogers has to come back on, but we'll see. So I definitely want to go to Divas. And then we have the Nevada State Championships in May. So definitely want to hit that one up. Then we have what's happening in June. Do we have any shows in June? I know Purvis is going to be having his show. The Muscle Max is going to be happening in Georgia. And the thing is, there are so many shows that are going to be announced in the future. Because, I mean, we have all the shows that were canceled this year are going to be announced because they're going to be coming back. And as they get announced, it's how I'm going to make my plan. I'm going to go to Vegas twice next year. I have to,
That was a loaded question, by the way. I kind of figured you were going to say Vegas.
Yeah, it was going to be, yeah. So Vegas, I'm going to be going there twice. Well, the funny thing is, the beginning of this year, when everything got shut down, I was trying to make a plan because didn't know exactly how long this COVID issue was going to be taking place, but I was planning to go to Florida to see the Miami Naturals and the other one, the one in Orlando. I'm blanking on the name right now.
Mhm.
But I bought the plane ticket and I bought the hotel and I bought these things, and lo and behold, they got canceled, but I was able to switch those to next year. So I already have Vegas lined up. I already have a hotel in Vegas and I have a plane ticket for Vegas. So I will be at Vegas. And the other thing is, I would like to at least travel to Ecuador once, Peru once, Mexico once, and either the UK, Italy, or Australia once they put their shows on.
We have such a tough life, don't we?
Oh my God. It is exciting. It is financially rough, but I love it. I love it. I really do. I mean, get to go to different countries, get to meet new people, get to see bodybuilding from a different perspective. I mean, I'll go wherever they let me. Basically.
Now, let me just back up another second, because you are GBO's Male Athlete of the Year last year. Was that correct?
Yes. Very excited.
You're making a tour around the world. You get a chance to be with some of the who's who in GBO. You get to, and I mean, you got a lot of countries listed off there. And by the way, I'm in the same agreement. So we're going to be traveling a lot and getting a chance to, to travel with people that we like. That's kind of a cool thing too. Not going to lie there.
Absolutely.
Yes. So for any predictions for what country you're going to visit next year, let's say COVID lifts and let's say you've got your free reign. Are you going to visit all those countries, or are you just going to go with one or two next year?
So I think the easier ones based on the restrictions, it's going to be Mexico, Ecuador, and Peru. And Peru, because they're going to have the Iberoamericano GBO. So the GBO Southern Championships, where all of the South American countries are going to join together and compete. Actually, no, not South America, just American countries. So you have Brazil, you have Mexico, Ecuador, Peru, Colombia, all those countries coming together. Oh, and America too, because America is the United States of America. We're all going to be getting together in Peru and competing for the American, all-American thing. Iberoamericano, basically the championship for that. Last year, David Alfonso from Spain, the Canary Islands, won the overall on that one. That was pretty cool. So I definitely want to go to that one. Now, outside of the Americas, if I had to pick one country, Jesus, I've been wanting to go to Australia for as long as I can remember. I was really excited when they announced that Australia was joining the GBO family. So if I had to pick one, it would be Australia. And I hesitated because that plane ticket's going to be so expensive, but it's going to be so worth it. So worth it.
Going to be a long flight. My wife wants to stop in Fiji on the way too, because that's usually the layover. Not going to lie, that's kind of cool. Now,
Yeah.
let me ask you this, because this is kind of important if you're traveling. Do you speak Portuguese?
I do not.
Ooh, neither do I. We got to find somebody who speaks Portuguese.
The beautiful thing is that Portuguese speakers tend to speak Spanish, and they can get by with Spanish more than Spanish speakers can get by with Portuguese.
Got it.
So there will still be communication in there. It'll be rough, but we'll be able to get through it. We'll be able to understand each other.
Okay. Well, I saw, if you can tilt your head a little bit this way, you want to talk a little bit about what you're doing with Fuel and Burn, or is that something we can talk about?
Yeah, we can talk about it. I will say I actually just finished talking with some other folks about Fuel and Burn. Fuel and Burn was something that I started in the beginning of the year, my personal training company, and it started off with a huge success in January 2021. It was something that people kept asking me about in 2018 when I was making my transformation. I was like, nope, go to this person, go to that person. Continue to get asked. In 2019, I was playing around with writing some meal plans for folks and writing some workouts, but I was really just giving stuff away. And because I was more focused on myself, and I was still pushing people here, go to this person, go to that person. You got all these trainers, great trainers that are going to be able to help you. But the volume kept coming at me and asking me, I want you to train me. I want to get your knowledge. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I should do something about this. I have enough interest. I'm happy to help everybody else out. And I still do. You know, if I find somebody and they're an advanced athlete and they want to really progress their future, their career in the fitness world, I'm not going to take them on. I'm obviously going to hand them off to somebody else that is better suited for them. But for the majority of the people, I'll go ahead and take them on. So that's what I started doing. I spent the second half of the fourth quarter of 2019 putting together Fuel and Burn, which is right back here, and launched great in January. Client after client after client just started climbing. I was so happy. I didn't expect it to be that successful. And then COVID hit. So like many trainers, I just went ahead and said, you know, guys, it's going to be a stressful time for everybody. So let's just go ahead and pause the training. No, don't worry about the meal prepping. Don't worry about the workouts. Just try to do your best. And we'll resume whenever COVID lifts up once again. I was naive into thinking that it wasn't going to last very long. So lo and behold, it kept getting extended over and over and over and over and over. So decided to bring that back up, started back up at the end of summer because I was thinking, okay, maybe now the gyms have been open for about 2 months. More people are being comfortable. Let me try restarting it. The restart hasn't been as great as the initial, but it's okay. I still want to, there's still people out there that are still wanting some help, and I'll be more than happy to help those guys out. So if you have any questions for flexible dieting is my specialty. I think of it more as a lifestyle versus just quick. So I let people tell me what they want to eat, and I formulate a meal plan based off of that. Because I think it's easier for somebody to, I'm not going to expect somebody to eat chicken and rice every single day or a tuna salad every single day. That's not sustainable for most people. So when somebody tells me, you know what, I like steak and eggs every morning. Okay, well, we'll formulate a plan. We'll what's the word? We'll control the portions of that, and we'll make that into a meal plan. That way you can add that into your diet, and tends to be more successful for everybody else. The second thing about that is I'm not a fan of keeping too many people for too long. I want to be able to share my knowledge, get you out the door, and you can carry on that information with yourself, you know, because all I'm teaching is flexible dieting, calories, and protein intake, macros for the most part. You don't need me to tell you every single time how to go about that. You know, you don't have to keep paying me every month after month after month. So that's my thing. After about 3 to 5 months, I want to cut you off, and here's another trainer with more knowledge. Go ahead and find what they know and learn from them, and then let them push you to another goal, you know? So that's Fuel and Burn right over there. There's Todd Rogers.
Let's see if he can hop in here. Now, he's got the video. Now he might have the audio. He's getting in on the tail end of this. Man, that goatee is growing. I mean, I thought mine was growing, and you know, you've got a pretty good one too. You're nice and clean, like trimmed up. So we'll see.
That's right. That's right. Well, nothing like Todd Rogers.
Nope.
Hey, can y'all hear me now?
I can hear you a
Yeah.
little bit better. Yes, sir. How are you?
Oh man, I'm doing good. Been listening to you guys here in Atlanta, and yeah, that's some good stuff you got going on, Mike.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So, Todd, any questions or anything that you heard that struck you that you wanted to address?
Well, no, Mike pretty much hit it on the head. You know, we got a lot of things going on. We're looking at probably about shows for the 2021, and Genesis is gonna kick it all off. You know, so with pro women's Beachbody, like he said, and he gave y'all a great explanation of why he decided to do that, which I thought was very cool. Um, it's gonna be big. It's gonna be big in GBO Natural. Now I'm gonna make one correction. GBO Natural is not gonna go to a straight pro qualifier as of yet. We're gonna probably look at 2 more years of just pretty much qualifying our pros with 5 in the class and also an overall for them to actually qualify. And we'll catch up with GBO probably, and we'll probably go across the board also as being a pro qualifier also, where the athletes will have to go and qualify to turn pro. That's the only difference, I tell people all the time, it's a little different on the natural side than it is on the non-tested side, but that's just one of the differences.
Did I hear correctly, Todd? It's your birthday?
Tomorrow
I
is my
figured.
birthday.
And
Well,
you're
happy
Down
20.
here
Where are you going for your birthday?
Bruce and John. I was trying to take have Mike come with me. Mike was supposed to be coming with me, but hey man, we got other jobs to do. Everybody. We ain't as fortunate enough. People think that this is all we do in life is bodybuilding, but nah, it's not true. We got other obligations that we have to get into also. But I'm here for the SMBF grand finale, which is here in Atlanta. And one, I'm a fan of natural bodybuilding, which I tell people all the time. Two, um, Bruce and Carol, they're pretty much like affiliates. They honor our pro status and we honor theirs with the SMBF. And I've never been to an SMBF show, and this is their finale for the year. So I want to come out and check it out and see all the athletes and see what's going down here in the real South. I always say the GBO is the king of the South in Texas. So I need to come down here on this other South end and see what's going on also. Also be meeting the director of Georgia, Stephanie McNeil. She'll be there tomorrow. So we'll be out here, you know, kissing babies and bumping fists and stuff like that.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you could get in for a little bit on our time because we were wondering how we could get you integrated. And I know traveling is not the easiest thing to do, but man, you're making it happen.
Well, that's what we have to do, man. In order for us to spread the global bodybuilding organization across the world, we got to get out and just like Mike was saying, and visit these different countries, visit these different states, and let them know what we got going on. Um, right now, we're working real hard to bring GBO Naturals to the international stage. Been talking to William Pastor out there in Germany. He's excited by bringing GBO Naturals over there. Also been talking to uh, Chris Proctor. He wants to bring it to the UK. So it's looking real promising for GBO Naturals to spread across the globe, just like GBO did, just that quick. Another good thing, surprised that what we had on store, Michael already know. One promoters that we brought in is going to be the one alone. He's actually going to be joining GBO Naturals, so that's a big shot. He's going to bring his expertise and all his knowledge to the game. And I welcome because that's one of the guys that I looked up to back in the day, and I know for a fact, he knows the business and knows how to actually treat athletes based on what we do, So that's going to be a big addition to GBO Naturals.
Nice.
That was a big announcement. I don't think many people caught it either. So, Dwayne Malone is a 3-time world champion.
The Texas Titan, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Texas
So
Titan.
we'll probably have him on the show again too, but or we'll have him very soon. But I wish we had more time. But Todd, we'll let you catch your flight. Thank you for the update. Thank you for joining us for a little bit.
Mike, hold it down, baby. Keep it natty for life, baby.
Absolutely.
Hey Todd, happy
100%.
birthday.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And say, man, as always, I just want to let you know, Matt, you're doing a wonderful job. We appreciate everything you do, spreading the word about the Global Bodybuilding Organization, also the GBO Naturals. It's going to be big, like I say. It's going to be speechless. I'm pretty much speechless about how big it's going to be next year. All right, y'all take care, man. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. One family. Keep it natty, baby.
We love you.
Peace. Happy birthday.
Thank you, brother.
I was gonna touch on this real quick. It's one thing. One of the folks, I met a lot of people when I went down to Ecuador. I got to meet the director of Mexico, got to meet the director of Ecuador, and there was one more director that I got to meet, but the South American directors. But I want to talk to specifically about the Salvador, the director of Mexico. I like how Todd mentioned that the new director of Germany is wanting to bring Natty to Germany. Eventually, I want to sit down and talk to Salvador in Mexico about bringing naturals to Mexico.
Right.
Start there. And so that's going to be a future talk. Maybe if it allows, I'll be able to go this year at the end for their 30-year anniversary show. I'm still looking at if it's going to be a possibility, and maybe chat to him about it then. But if not, that's why Mexico is on my list to travel to next year, because I think that'd be really cool to bring natural bodybuilding to Mexico.
Would. Well, I got to tell you, we covered a lot of information in such a short time, and I do want to make sure that we leave a little bit of room for people to find out about your website. So, what is your website, first of all?
GBOgenesis.com.
Very good.
Basically the name, and that is across the board for my email, for Instagram, and Facebook.
Cool. So they can follow you on there. And is it Michael Gaytan on Facebook, or do you want them to go to your show page if they have a question?
Preferably the show page, but you can ask me questions no matter where. So, I mean, Instagram, it's my name, Michael A. Gaytan. And on Facebook, it's the same, Michael A. Gaytan. Both pictures are of me and my little dog, Jules. She'll be coming.
You do have a co-promoter.
I do. Come here. This is my little inspiration. So Jules is she is natural.
Yeah.
Naturally muscular. And I've always been jealous of her because all she does is chase squirrels all day long and builds these massive legs.
Good Lord.
I'm being ridiculous with her right now, but I can be.
She looks like she's about 2 weeks out.
Yeah, she's about 2-3 weeks out, she can't get enough treats, so that's her weakness.
You got her on prep. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
yeah. I forgot what we were talking about with that.
Well, we were talking about how people can get in touch with you.
Yes.
And if they have questions. I know that for my show page, for example, I don't get the messages until like 3 months later. So that's why I always had them get it on, just message me on Messenger. Was a whole lot easier and a whole lot quicker. So
yeah, I carry my phone 24/7. It's right next to my bed. Last night I was up until 1 a.m. Talking with people. So if I'm up, I will answer questions. Again, email, text, Instagram, Facebook, the Wix. I use Wix for my website, and it has a messaging app on there as well, and we could chat through there. So any questions whatsoever, feel free to message me on all these platforms. If you say you're having a hard time getting a hold of me, then we need to have a actual face-to-face sit down to figure out what's wrong.
Well, that's one of the great things about a promoter is when they're available and they get the questions answered and everything's clear, you can never over communicate. So Michael, thank you for your time tonight. Can't wait for your show. It's going to be an exciting March 20th, 2021 as we celebrate the 1-year anniversary. And finally, it's your turn. And I know you're going to put everything plus some into this show, and we can't wait to see it. So
absolutely. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me on this show. It's great to finally come on here and just get to talk and promote and everything. GBO, we're growing big.
Yes, sir. There's a couple last few announcements that we're going to do. Number one is we're going to move the show bi-weekly, as I know that Chris Proctor is going to be staggering a week. So he starts his European podcast essentially next week. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going every other week. So that way you can have a UK flavor, you can have an American flavor, and we are going to be going outside of GBO, bringing on some guests who are very well known. They're slated. They're all over the country. Some of these names you will recognize as they have apparel lines. They have supplement lines. And these are people who are well known in the bodybuilding industry, not just in GBO. So that's the only spoiler alert I can tell you. There's a few people who we hold close to the vest who know who are going to be some of our guests starting next month. And, we have Thanksgiving coming up. So make sure that no one's on prep. Eat all you can for Thanksgiving. And also, if you can follow GBO Worldwide on Instagram, as you'll know that there aren't going to be very many show pages on Instagram. We're consolidating and merging to make it one streamlined, simple place to where you can go to GBO Worldwide, find out about Texas shows, find out about Florida shows, UK, Germany, Italy, Australia, Central America, South America. We have so many countries. It's like, man. But, we're very excited. Yes. And you'll be seeing some of those announcements. We did finish up the last show of the year. I've done a few recaps on Facebook about it. And it was just a heck of a way to finish up. And we're very much looking forward to the global qualification coming up November 19th and 20th. I know that Scott and Lisa have officially released for the May 29th Vegas show. They've officially released the venue. So make sure and check out Scott and Lisa's Facebook, or go to Ramsey Events on Instagram, as they have consolidated into the Ramsey Events page there too. And I think GBO, Global Bodybuilding Organization, they did also post that too. So Michael, thank you again, guys. We will see you same time, same place, not next week, unless you want to tune into Proctor, which is all good because we're all going to tune in. It will be the following week, every other week. So that way we're able to deliver great content to you that is informative, valuable, and something that you can act on if you choose. So until then, we'll see you in 2 weeks, 5:30, same time, same place.